everybody and welcome back to my booktube channel, Books with Leo. That's rude. And I talk on here about books, and yeah, today I'm back with another reading vlog. I'm having a very chill Sunday with my chill outfit. Ooh. I matched my hair clips to my blouse to still feel fashionable. And I've been doing a lot of reading this morning. I finished One Day We'll All Be Dead and None of This Will Matter by Sachi Cool, and I really enjoyed that book. It really made me laugh out loud at certain points. I started it yesterday evening and I already finished it this morning, so I was really into it. It's a collection of different essays, and Sachi really tackles some difficult subjects in this book, such as racism, sexism, and she also talks about feminism, about being an immigrant because her parents are Indian, and about coming back to India and she doesn't feel Indian and she doesn't feel connected, but she also does feel connected. It was really interesting to read about, and I also think she's just a great writer. She writes with such humour and satire, and she's very sarcastic. And yeah, I thought this was super enjoyable, and even though I'm a white girl, I still thought it was very relatable at certain points, and it doesn't need to be relatable to me to be good, of course, because I just think that more representation is already really important and more writers of colour. But what I related to a lot was some of the passages about growing up and then coming back home and relationships with your parents, and also some of the passages about social media and your connection to it and how you relate to it, how you use it for work, and how it changes how you view yourself as well. I thought that was so valuable and really interesting to read about, and it was all done with such humour, so I really enjoyed this book, and I finished it this morning. And then I went on looking to read some more short audiobooks because I need to do some things around the house, and I was like, I want to read some audiobooks because I want to do a lot of reading today. So I am currently listening to 6 Months, 3 Days by Charlie Jane Anders. Charlie Jane Anders is a well-known, well-rewarded sci-fi author, mostly, I think. I've always wanted to read her book. What is it called? I don't know what it's called, but I'll put up a picture here. I've always wanted to read that, but I never got around to it. But I've read a couple of her short stories and a couple of her novellas by now, and this is also a short story, so the audiobook is really short. I love short audiobooks because it makes me feel so productive, and I also just love that it's like more contained. I love when they're short, I have the opportunity to listen to more things. And what I also really like about short audiobooks is that I can sort of see the story arc and how people develop character and stories in such a short time. It's very fascinating to me as a writer, so I'm really enjoying that currently. It is so fascinating. It is about two people who are dating. It's about a man who can see the future, and he dates a woman who can see many possible futures. So they both have these sort of psychic powers, but they're different because she can see different outcomes, different possibilities, and he can see one future set in stone. And so they are like the only two people on earth who should not date, and they start dating, and it's very comical so far. I think Charlie Jane Anders has such a sharp edge when she's writing. It's very comical, but it's also like there's so much wisdom hidden in this writing, especially about dating, and also about, I think, the way we perceive our life and our possibilities and our futures, our friends, our relationships, the way we learn from things that happen in our lives. Very insightful for such a short book, but I feel like Charlie Jane Anders always manages to be so insightful. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that so far. I am almost done with that. And after that, I'm planning to listen to yet another Charlie Jane Anders book because I found one that is about time travel. And as many of you know, I love time travel books. I love everything to do with time travel books. So after I've finished 6 Months, 3 Days, I'm planning on reading The Cartography of a Sudden Death. And the synopsis for this book is really short, so I'm not sure what I'm getting myself into, but it says, time travel doesn't actually solve problems, it just makes them more complex. So that's exciting, to say the very least. And my big book that I'm currently reading is Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. The way I feel is that this is perceived as a fantasy book, and it is a fantasy book, of course, but it's like sort of a murder mystery in a fantasy setting. Like, there's people getting murdered, and why didn't nobody tell me? Okay, I've not watched anybody talk about Crescent City, so I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying all the characters. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with the way Sarah J Maas constantly tells us how good looking the main character is, and she constantly like sexualizes her, and I'm just not sure why. It's just, it feels so weird and unnecessary. Like she's constantly like, Bryce and her beautiful ass, Bryce and her curvy body, and men can only stare at her. Oh, Bryce and her voluptuous shapes entering the room, and I'm just like, this is so unnecessary. Yeah, I love it nonetheless, not gonna lie. I'm always so into everything. Like, her stories just suck you into it. I don't know, I'm enjoying it. Something else I bought recently that I really want to get into, but like it might take a while for me to finally pick it up, is The Furies by Katie Lowe. I just wanted to mention it in this vlog. I'm not like, I don't think I'm going to pick this up in this vlog, but I just really wanted to mention it because I've been wanting to pick this up for so long, and I saw it at the bookstore and it's so pretty. It says on the back, Obsession, Witchcraft, Murder. Ooh. 1998, that's the year I was born in. A 16-year-old girl is found dead on a school property, dressed in white and posed on a swing. No known cause of death. Oh my god, I'm excited. I'm really wanting to read more murder mystery books lately, so super excited to finally dive into this one when I do get to it. But for now, I'm going to be continuing listening to 3 days, what was it again? 6 months, 3 days, whilst I'm going to be doing some cleaning and taking out the garbage and stuff. Not very interesting, but it needs to be done. And I might also be packing some Etsy orders, but I don't know. That's the summary. Hi guys. I know the lighting situation of this is not ideal, but I also thought it was kind of cozy. I'm sat here in this corner of my house to tell you about everything that I read today, which is quite a lot actually so far. And after this, I'm going to be editing a video a bit. I'm editing my video where I try book talk, and I'm actually really enjoying editing. So I finished listening to, God, what was it called again? I knew this was gonna happen. The Death of a Cartographer? Something like that? I don't remember. Anyway, it was by Charlie Jane Anders as well, and it was a very short book as well. I'll pop up the picture here so you guys can see. It was lovely. It was very sci-fi. I know Charlie Jane Anders writes mostly sci-fi, but this was like full-grown sci-fi. Like there were emperors and queens, and we were following this girl, Athena, who was like a sort of server underneath this queen, and that queen was then like a servant to the upper emperor or empress, or like another upper leader. And they were all in this very strict sort of kingdom, and the way things were very set in stone. The day that her leader, so Athena's leader, gets like sort of crowned as like into the, how do you even explain this? Anyway, there's a ceremony where Athena's leader is being like sort of welcomed into the inner circle of the king or emperor. I don't even remember whether it was a woman or a man, but she's being welcomed into like the inner circle, but then she gets murdered. And I'm not sure, they think it's like an assassination, but they're not sure. And so Athena is super distraught. She's so sad. And then she discovers this woman that is lurking, and this woman tells her she's from the future, she's a time traveler, she can only time travel on the powers of someone important dying and changing the course of history. and she tells Athena she needs her to come with her because they're gonna get her. They're gonna blame her for the murder, and then they spot Athena and this mystery woman, and of course they're all like, oh my god, a conspirer. And that's where Athena gets swept up in this time travel sci-fi-esque plot, basically. I really enjoyed it, but as I was doing chores around the house and also grocery shopping at the same time, a lot of it flew a little bit over my head, I think, because like I can't, you know, when I'm picking out potatoes, I hardly have the concentration to listen to the inner workings of such a complicated novel. Like, I don't get how Charlie Jane Anders makes it so complicated and she puts it all in such a short book. Like, it's a talent. But it was good nonetheless. I enjoyed the characters. It was like, the lore was really cool. Everything was so immersive. I also bought the wrong type of potatoes because I was so immersed in the audiobook. So, I didn't get the right potatoes, and I didn't get everything that happened in the book. So I guess it's a lose-lose, but I enjoyed it anyway. So yeah. I think the other book was a bit better proportioned. Like, the other story that I listened to by her today works a bit better in such a short, like, form, I think. I think this book would have been better off as like a bigger fantasy book. Although I do find it like very inspiring that she manages in such a short book. So currently I am still listening to The Right Swipe by Alicia Ray, which I'm enjoying a lot. I think it's coming to an end right now. I still need to listen to like 1 hour or something like that, but I'm going to edit in a bit, and then after that I might listen a bit more to that one. I'm really enjoying it. It's such a light and fluffy and cute romance. I've talked about it in my other vlog as well. It's about Rhiannon, who owns a dating app called Crush, which is basically like feminist Tinder, and I wish Crush was real in our world because I can use something like that in my life. And then we also follow Samson. I don't know where Samson came out of nowhere. We follow Samson, whose aunt is the owner of another dating application, and yeah, they have a thing for each other. It's so cute. This is like the most simpled down plot, like, synopsis I've ever given to you guys, but I think that's like all you should know. You should go into this a little bit blind and it will be even better. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So I've read quite a lot today. I'm also planning on reading like maybe some graphic novels tonight. It's almost like I'm like having a little 24-hour readathon just by myself. Really cute. I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping I can make it to 5, like finish The Right Swipe and then also do a graphic novel maybe, if I'm in the mood. So I just finished editing my video. I actually didn't expect me to finish editing it already tonight, so I feel like I'm ahead of schedule, and that always gives me such a good feeling. So since we already had like warm dinner this afternoon, I decided it's just fine for me to eat a sandwich right now, and I bought some strawberries, so I'm going to put those on some bread and it will be delightful. And then I'm going to be reading some graphic novels, I think. Hi, I just finished the last swipe by Alicia Ray. It was so good. It was honestly, it just was so good. Like there were especially some lines at the end and just the way everything wrapped up, and it got so much more serious at the end as well, talking about sexual assault. And yeah, it was so powerful. I will go more into depth tomorrow when I've slept and I'm not as tired as I am right now. But yeah, it was really good. So I'm going to take off my makeup. I'm super tired, and then I'll see if I feel like reading a little graphic novel before I go to bed or not. I'll see. So it's the next day and I spent my morning. It was such a calm morning with like sunshine. I had a nice breakfast, already did some work, and I just started packing some of my Etsy orders, and I just thought this was a good moment to sit down and talk about some of the audiobooks that I finished yesterday. I finished The Last Swipe by Alicia Ray yesterday. That rhymes. And it was so beautiful. It got so much more serious towards the end. I really didn't see that coming, but I welcomed it and it was really nice. Especially there was this one line, I don't think this is considered a spoiler, but maybe don't listen if you want to still read the book. So there's this one part where Aunt Belle, who's my favorite character out of the entire book, she's so fierce, I love her. She is basically talking about her husband who had Alzheimer's amongst other things, and who didn't recognize her anymore in the end, which is really sad, which is like one of the most heartbreaking things ever, for your lover to not recognize you anymore, your husband of like many years. She and her nephew and him would go out, but he wouldn't recognize her, and it would sort of make him uncomfortable that he recognized her from something but he couldn't place her, and so she couldn't actually be with them. She couldn't be with her husband anymore because it icked him, which is really sad. And so they were at this restaurant and she walks over and basically asks him if she can borrow their ketchup, and like, of course he's her husband, but he doesn't know that because he has Alzheimer's. He then says like, of course you can borrow my ketchup, and then he goes like, has anyone ever told you you're so beautiful? That is so sad. Honestly, just that little bit in this book made me like tear up almost, because it's just so, that is so heartbreaking on such a deep level, and I just but then I think just Aunt Belle is one of the best characters in this entire book. I mean, she's so quirky and weird, and she's like such an eccentric character, and I always love those. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this, and I also think in the end the main character Rhiannon, she really deals with her trauma and her abusive past relationship, and she, yeah, a sort of Me Too thing. You know, she goes public, and it's very much about how she wants to make her industry better for girls who will come after her, and it's really, I don't know, it's heart-wrenching, but it was so well written, and the romance was so steamy and lovely, and yeah, it was very witty as well, and I really enjoyed this book. It took me a while because I started listening to other audiobooks in between, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it. Then after that I read, I think, the 22nd or the 21st volume of Giant Days, which is one of my favourite comic series. I read a single issue because I was really tired and I just wanted to go to bed. But technically I did read 5 books yesterday, which is kind of crazy. Nice, because I haven't done like a day where I try to read as much as possible in a very long time. So yeah, it was a nice experience. And then this morning I read a bit more in Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. I'm really enjoying Crescent City. I love the murder mystery aspect of it. I think all the characters are really fun. Sarah J Maas really has a way with words, and she's very witty as well, which I enjoy. So I'm really enjoying this. The only thing that's icking me, that is like bothering me still, is how they keep sexualizing the main character. I just don't see the point, and I don't remember this being such a big thing in ACOTAR, but it probably was, and it's just me being older now and seeing different things in books. I don't know. But I'm going to close with this reading vlog right here, right now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me go about my life, read, art journal, make dinner, do everything. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.